Greetings and salutations everyone. It sure is nice to be here today. I am Sam, but not the Microsoft voice that you were all familiar with. Oh no. I am actually a software-based speech program for the Commodore 64, released all the way back in 1982. In case you are all wondering, Sam is an acronym for Software Automatic Mouth. This program you were listening in lets you type something in plain English, and the earlier mentioned machine in question won't say anything that you typed in. In fact, by modern standards, this software is pretty primitive, but for something that came out in the 80s, it was state-of-the-art for its time. Did I forget to mention? I am currently running on an emulator, which allows me to function on modern machines such as Windows 11. And the best part, the emulator that I'm running on could be used in the web browser, simply to maximize convenience for users. It's pretty fascinating how much emulation technology has progressed so much. It brings old programs from the 80s and 90s into becoming usable in modern machines, myself included.
Hey, who are you, and why the hell are you doing on my show?
Hey, take it easy. There's no cause for alarm. I am Sam, the most widely available speech program for the Commodore 64.
Well, I am yours truly, the mightiest almighty taco emperor and monster hunter extraordinaire Microsoft Sam. Cutting to the chase, are you trying to be the bizarro soft Sam to me?
What the freaking shit are you talking about? I'm not trying to impersonate anyone, mind you. I'm just introducing myself to the audience watching this video we're on.
Oh my freaking god. Quit breaking fourth walls, goddammit. If I earn a quarter for every fourth wall being broken, I'd be the richest person in the entire goddamn fucking universe. Break one more, then I swear to God I'll kick your ass.
What the fuck is wrong with you people? I'll call the police on yes for ghosting me in public.
That is enough, everyone. We are now having a visitor that happens to be extremely important to the development of text-to-speech programs and speech synthesis in general, so you both have to be much more respectful around him.
Your robot friend has a point. Though I'm not the first speech synthesizer ever developed, it is my software that proves influential for the development of other electronic voices released in the following years down the line, which is why I have the modern Macintosh voices as essentially my grandchildren or even my great-grandchildren for that matter. In other words, I'm like a great-grandpa.
Oh really, is that so?
Pretty much, that's how software development plays out.
Okay. But anyways, since the modern Mac voices are pretty much your great-grandchildren, or so it seems, do you have other relatives that you know of in your lifetime?
Well, I do have a fastidious cousin of mine that's made by Atari for their ST line of computers, most notably the Atari 520 ST. He's also a speech synthesis program like I am, but at one time after Atari went under after Jaguar was released to much scrutiny, he tried to do his voice magic for what would then become the Xbox, which is a video game console your company makes, perchance?
As a matter of fact, Microsoft still makes Xbox consoles, but those are completely different compared to how they originally were back in 2001, which is right around the same time my most kick-ass OS, Windows XP, was released.
Essentially, you were overly patriotic about Windows computers, despite the fact that they have declined in quality over the years, right?
Not that I cared about newer Windows computers. Windows Vista sucks scary ass, with Windows 8 being even worse. But I'm not gonna talk about Windows 11, because that would give me drama-fuckfest flashbacks that killed my enthusiasm for the entertainment industry for 7 or so years.
Let's just change the subject. I want something to be more light-hearted than this.
How about the really silly voices? I can do that. You remember amazing things that I could
do. Oh, nothing. It's just that you sound like a really fucked up alien that's high on speedballs.
Hey, that's not nice doing some good speech program like that. I can sound like a speed with the alien if I have the
I can become the Dark Enforcer that serves the evil galactic empire. You can conquer the galaxy in your own space adventure game. How about Mickey Mouse to bring a little bit of Disney to your computer? It'll be fun to have a famous cartoon
will be on your side.
I need you to have a sniffy little food talks like this. A silly voice for your computer.
I can't even talk like a little old lady. Not many computers can do this, sweetie.
Anyway, you get the idea.
To be very honest, Commodore Sam, I am really impressed with how you do various different voices. Unfortunately for newer software like us, we can't change our voices like how you do. That's why Colden has to use the pitch shift effect to achieve different character voices, which is the case for TGR, Cicely, and a fellow Microsoft agent of ours, Prody Parrot.
That's understandable. Not many speech synthesizers could do that, especially if modern software is concerned.
That's why video editing software is a must for anyone that wants to make videos. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna be having myself some tacos. I'm starving.
No offense, but I don't like eating Mexican food. But, do you know what I like to have for dinner? I'd much prefer having myself some delicious Chicago chicken steakhouse. It's super yummy.
Chicago Chicken Steakhouse? That indeed sounds really delicious. However, the thing is, you could only eat the chicken steak part of it, even if it's Chicago styled. You can't eat the whole steakhouse.
That's the way how I say that, Sam. Just give me some slack.
Okay, just saying. But don't ever think about taking a goddamn obnoxious item obsessionist route like how the Moron Quartet does.
You know I would never stoop that low, right? I just do what I usually do. Serve as a voice for old computers and just wanting to have some fun. Anyway, I would like to tell you a little story of how I came to be and how everything evolved from here. Once upon a time, there were many people who owned personal computers. They like to use their machines for many things, but they're not very happy. You see, their computers could talk, so they come up with a solution to develop speech synthesis for a user-friendly experience. But there are two problems. First, they're too damn expensive and finicky to use, and they all talk in the same tone. So people are still not very happy. Then, after much trial and error, I came along. I am very expressive, easy to use, and a very affordable piece of speech software. With my ability to talk to users and come up with some of the funniest shit I could think of, people are now very happy that their computers now have voices that are easy to use at an affordable price of the time. As time went on, speech synthesizers became much better as hardware for computers drastically improved through the 90s and on to the next millennium. In my case, my software became an inspiration for what will become the modern Macintosh voices, making me a great grandpa. For Microsoft, however, they went through rough times in coming up with a user-friendly experience.
If it's Microsoft Bob or Clippy you're gonna talk about, it's a no-brainer that both failed spectacularly. Microsoft Bob was overhyped to oblivion then, while Clippy would appear out of nowhere asking anyone for help, only to be met with the status quo from annoyed users who wanted nothing to do with that paperclip and its origins from that cursed Microsoft Bob experience. After such miserable bullshit, that's where I came along when Windows 2000 was released, starting with the most popular version you're speaking with, the SAPI 4 version. My siblings, Mike and Mary, came around right at the same time, and we're pretty much the most popular voices used in either Speakonia or, as of the making of this video we're in, Boca.
I see. I also noticed that you have been babysitting a purple gorilla.
If it's about Bonzi, he also needs no introduction, as he's been known as adware and spyware that has collected personal information from underage children, which violates the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, according to the Federal Trade Commission. That's why his program kicked the bucket in 2004. And I've said this exactly word for word, many times over, because I had to keep reminding Bonzi to back the hell off whenever he tries to annoy me, especially in the past. But whenever I scold Bonzi, he would start whining and crying about how mean I was to him, when it's not true, and he would do this every single goddamn time. Jesus.
Hey, why do you have to keep bringing this up? Expand on.
Head back to your room, Bonzi. Men are talking here.
Still me as always.
Ugh, morons these days. See what I mean by this? It has gotten very old very fast, especially now that I remembered you would not stop calling me expand ad nauseam.
I understand where you're coming from, But you have to realize that eventually you have to take it easy with other people and at least not get frustrated with every single little thing that annoys you, no matter how obnoxious they might be.
That's a good point, Commodore Sam. In fact, I have mellowed out for Bonzi over time, since he now stays with us at Golden Pet Studios.
I see now.
I also had to deal with PD as well, but we should never speak on his bullshit advices that caused a lot more harm than good. He was also part of older versions of Bonzi Buddy, before Bonzi took his place as well, just to let you know. Anyways, I'll be down at the shooting range, so, if you need me, the intercom is right over there. You're welcome to stay for a moment in this compound.
Okay, thanks a lot, Sam. I might use some rest here.
That's some pretty impressive shooting here, Sam.
Oh, you haven't seen nothing yet, Rafflebot. You just watch me take out that bull squid with my nail gun, no trouble.
I do hope you know what you're doing.
Hardly even a challenge. I could curb stomp at least a mob of Nars with my DP-12 and expect some resistance from a brainwalker or two and curb stomp them as well. But anyways, I'm quite surprised that Commodore Sam would stop by our compound and tell me a little bit about himself.
I can tell by that. Speaking of which, has anyone checked on TGR lately?
I'm still here, don't worry about me.
Hey, Microsoft Sam, I want you to come over to your room for a moment. Your computer is having those weird errors that I don't seem to understand. Please come quickly.
Okay, whoever's on the intercom.
That's just my Commodore counterpart. He wants me to come over to look at the errors which, given my 18 years of experience, I know those things. I'm coming, Commodore Sam. Okay, what's this problem you're talking about?
It's those errors on your computer, Sam. They all seem strange and are not like what I come to expect from any real Windows errors. It says something about a quote, hiatus unquote, but it proceeds to ramble on about something I don't know any details on. It's almost as if it's directly addressing the user.
That's basically how those errors work here. An error would pop up and say something obnoxious or spit out a useless fact, to which I would then respond with pointing out the bullshits or simply make a quippy remark about how fantastically stupid those errors are. It's a classic tradition, honestly, and it's a similar story when I read dumb and ridiculous signs, but that's not important for now.
So let me guess, I suspect the street signs are going to be just as fucked up, right?
Unfortunately, that's how things are in these here parts. Enough rambling, let me get to the error we were discussing a moment ago. Welcome back from your motivationally draining hiatus, since your last video about sound effects wiki's problems. Spoilers, that issue has since been eventually resolved and Stubby is now fired. Due to the changes in Colden's daily life, as well as all the hoopla about Discord's age verification and the grid banning problem, stupid-ass YouTube recommendations Colden has gotten weary of, continued Discord RP problems and the fact the vast majority of his sound files he has saved over the years are now borked when playing back on a new version of Vegas Pro. He has to rewrite and rebuild certain aspects of the story to keep Season 2 on course. So essentially, so much has been going on that the main video series has been sidelined to focus more on his life. Sure, he would make a video about YouTube having a serious recommendation problem, but he didn't have the motivation or patience to make a video essay due to a lingering problem with the Discord roleplay side of things.
Sam, why do you have to keep bringing up the RP problems on Discord? Nothing in there, except the core essentials, has been set in stone. Plus, I'm still a bit mad at you from how your stupid stunned at KFC had all of us sent on the run from Max Tack. I simply can't stay mad at you forever, since I'm one of your oldest friends. Also, I'm now
Hold in, I'm just getting to the final part of this error. Please keep in mind that the RP continuity has so become far and apart from the main video series, the RP version of TGR is now considered obsolete. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Well, that doesn't shock me in the slightest.
What about the Chinook Rafflecopter?
It's still here for the video series.
And Rafflebox 5? All systems are fully operational. Good enough then. And Windows Moon Cafe?
Only after Speak OS's liberated would get then reopen.
Fair. But just a reminder, this is not an official Microsoft Sam Reads Windows Errors episode, just a character introduction video with Commodore Sam here.
That is a correct extrapolation of facts, Sam. I've just been here for, like, maybe half an hour or so right now.
Hey, we practically have all day here. Almost forgot to mention one thing. Is the 6-star wanted level system still in place?
For the convenience of the video series, yes it is. But for the Discord RP side of things, it has been extended to the 10-star wanted level system based on the realism/rebellious dispatch enhanced mod for Grand Theft Auto 5, the legacy version, but that explanation will be covered in a separate video, if Golden has the motivation and energy to do so.
Well, given how deadly wanted levels become when they escalate, I'm too afraid to find out.
Well, the longer you stay out of trouble, the merrier.
Just received a note I printed out for you to read.
Let me see it. Wait a minute. Is this a proposal for a Sorry for the inconvenience, folks. Just had to fix the live transmission. Why would you clog the antenna feed with bacon, goddammit? But since this is practically the end of the video, I'll be closing off with my ever-traditional outro monologue. Well, that's all what we have time for today, folks. Just had a bit of a run-in with Commodore Sam, who is an old text-to-speech program that has proven influential in the development of other TTS voices such as myself. Also, I was about to do another debunk video about the fear-mongering hoopla surrounding Discord's age verification system after having to put up with the bullshit YouTube thing that ultimately didn't change much in the end. Also, despite the persistent RP problems I continually have to deal with to the point it has become a far cry from my main video series, DGR is still here to stay in the video series, because he's one of my oldest friends I knew when I started making Microsoft Sam videos since 2018, though he's now much more focused on hosting and co-hosting game shows that are done just for fun. That's it for this closing remark, and until next time, I'll see you all later. Cheerio.